turn into graphic novels.
Graphic novel.
So who's your class? Who's your favorite class besides SNL? What
Dude, it's easily the earliest class, man. With
the first one, Belushi.
Yeah, I mean, Belushi, Aykroyd. I mean, everything worked perfectly there. Yeah. Those guys were all they were all off the chain.
Yeah.
Even as I try to think of, why can't I think of her name? She is, in my
Gilda
opinion,
Radner?
She's the funniest woman in comedy
ever.
Gilda Radner. I think she is the funniest woman to ever do comedy.
I got to be honest. Like my class is the early '90s with Sandler and
Chris
Farley.
Rock.
Who?
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, dude.
Phil Hartman.
That's a great time.
Dude, Phil Hartman is my absolute favorite.
He's amazing. He's fucking amazing. You know what I mean?
The caveman lawyer sketches.
Oh yeah.
Key Rock.
What's the favorite SNL? What's the favorite SNL?
Dude, my favorite SNL skit is easily Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy.
There's actually this
one. Deep Thoughts.
My uncle took me to Disneyland, or told me to take me to Disneyland. He took me to a burned down warehouse and said, "Oh look, Disneyland burned down. Don't ask again." Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy. That was my favorite one.
Yeah.
Actually, one that comes from the era you were talking about that I really loved was one that was with Farley and Norm Macdonald. And the idea was basically somebody had fallen into the polar bear pit. And the idea was they were dead and their wallet was in there. And basically it was a number of SNL cast members basically arguing each other into like going in there and getting all that money. If you just get that money out of the polar bear pit, you'd be rich as shit. And they all basically argue each other into the polar bear pit and they die. But it's principally instigated by Norm Macdonald and Chris Farley. And it's fucking brilliant.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's great.
It's
great. You'd really have to like sit down with. I mean, like it's one of those ones that I only recognize because I've seen it maybe in the last 6 months. But it's brilliant.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and give Gary Six Killer. He came back.
Gary Six Killer, everybody.
What's up, you guys?
Get in there, Six.
Yeah, what's up, Six Killer?
Gary Six
we
Killer.
We can share a mic. It's not gay.
What's up, you guys?
Hey, no sucking the microphone.
Hey.
Last night. I don't want to
you don't want me to lick it like David Lee Roth?
Gary likes that shit.
We got the owner of the Down Under Comedy Club, Mr. Josh McCann here.
Yeah,
good man.
Say something into the mic.
Say something. Pick a mic.
Welcome to the Down Under, y'all.
Well, tomorrow we're gonna do.
Oh, cheers, Josh.
Tomorrow we're gonna do a tribute to the Down Under Comedy podcast, and he's gonna be the first guest on here. We're gonna listen to what old Josh has to say about the Down Under. Him and Danielle both. So
you know what I was gonna say too is this is something that a lot of people can't see over podcasting, but behind fucking Moose is the wall of comics, and this is something that has been reestablished since the Down Under closed the first time because there were comics all over this wall, and just to see a lot of these homeboys who I know pretty well, I don't know, man. It's touching.
Well, there's the
it
big
sounds
one.
Silly, but
there's the big one. The green sticker says first sold out show.
Look at that.
Who's Mitch Jones?
Is that Mitch Jones over there? The green sold out sticker? Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
I feel like Mitch Jones is a bit overrated.
Oh, he sucks. He sucks.
Well, that's not.
That's okay. He'll be retiring soon.
It's okay. Women cry when they see his dick. As far as I've been led by Rudy.
Yep.
Babies also cry when they see his dick. It's strange.
Oh my gosh.
You'd think that they'd open it with, or receive it with open arms.
That's it.
How stoned are you right now, Six Killer?
I'm not that stoned, honestly. I'm a
Six
good mix
Killer.
of sober and sad.
Six Killer was trying to put his nuts in a girl's mouth, and my guess is she said no.
Did that not work out for you, Gary? Or
No,
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Dude, if you don't get nuts in your, like, I mean, it's not a, I realize how bad that sounds.
I want no nuts in my mouth. There you go. Thing. Yeah,
that's a good rule to live by. I mean, it's done me well this whole time.
Mouth, though?
Yes, I do. I'd love my nuts in other mouths.
Okay.
But did it work tonight?
No, it did not work tonight.
Was there a girl in the audience you were trying to?
Yes.
Which one was it? Who?
She was a girl with a ponytail.
Something similar.
Something. She had 2 titties.
She was a woman. She had long hair and a ponytail, and she had a vagina, so I believe that.
Holy God, was there a vagina?
Wow, he must have experienced more than we thought.
Okay.
At the very least, he didn't get his nuts put in her mouth.
I would imagine.
Okay.
He got stuck at the top of the roller coaster, if you know what I mean.
I still don't, but I'm getting there, Mitch.
He didn't even suck on her titties, is what Mitch Jones is saying.
I'm thinking that Mitch Jones, it's not as much as a metaphor as it is just now our personal inside joke that you and I are going to share, because that's how I recognize that now.
Think about every time you try to pick up a chick, which every time I go to the East Coast, I almost get laid. Keyword, almost. But something goes right, and much like if I was a roller coaster enthusiast riding the rails.
Mitch,
it's so hard not to make a Tobias Livingston joke in there somewhere. Sorry, dude.
But
I want you to finish that.
Comedy Club, y'all.
All nude sides open till 3, yo.
Stop playing with your critter bits.
Pepper your innards.
Pepper your innards.
So
Gary Six Killer, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Six Killer with the Pepper Your Innards joke. Gary, where did you come up with that?
His Indian name is Troll Without a Bridge.
Tobias, he's out on tour right now.
Tobias Livingston.
Yeah, him
You
and
son of a
Sammy
bitch.
Talent.
California right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's being bros out on the
Nathan
road.
Lund, Aaron Urist is on this one too.
Okay.
It was just Sam Talent and Nathan Lund for the southbound journey, but they're in Cali now, so Aaron Urist is with him.
Have you seen that video on the internet of Nathan and Sam in the hot tub?
I have not.
Well, it's a lot less disturbing than it actually sounds.
It's the only time I've come in about 9 months.
All right.
Wow, that was interesting. I was really trying to make you a cooler dude for not coming over that video, but, you know.
Don't try and do the impossible, Reese Jenniges.
So, Mitch,
apparently there's...
What's the breaking point with you and women then? I mean, there's a point where you got to lose them, right? There's a point where you got to lose them. Have you diagnosed the problem yet, bud?
Diagnosed a problem?
Well, I mean,
here's the thing. My thought is that it's just, you don't, a lot of comics don't have an established significant other just because at its very principle, it's a very selfish thing to do.
Have you ever seen a woman and thought to yourself, that would be good on top of me?
Of course.
Like those words exactly. No, not like, oh, she's attractive, or, oh, man, I would love her vagina on top of my,
boner?
Man phallus, the boner. No, but it's an objectifying thing, and if you're not willing to objectify a woman, odds are you're not going to sleep with any sort of woman.
Well,
George Clooney said that, I believe.
George.
All of those words.
That was kind of yeah, Gary. I love you, and you know that, right? I think no, like
only physically, Nathan.
I'll go with that, but you don't want nuts in your mouth, so it's not going to work between us. But yes, but here's the deal. Like,
you know why I called you Nathan?
Why you called me Nathan?
Yeah,
why?
Because you didn't catch that at first, Moose. Moose Lundstrom.
Yes, sir. Yes.
You guys. No, I called you Nathan. Because, I mean, that's what I imagine yourself thinking.
Here's the deal.
That's what I imagine in my mouth when I think about Moose Lundstrom is Nathan.
If I was casting a movie,
yeah,
and I needed a crazy guy to play a fucking bum, like a bum, like just the bum that, like, when you walk by just says the most abstract and crazy shit to you, like just, Gary Six Killer.
Yeah,
can I?
I'm not. There will be no. No one's going to have to try out for the role. There will be no casting. I'm just going to offer it to you, Gary Six Killer.
Can I say it this way? When Joel and Ethan Coen decided to direct Inside Llewellyn Davis, they should have hired Gary Six Killer to play Llewellyn Davis.
I don't know what that is. What's Llewellyn
It's an art film.
He's basically a folk singer in the middle of nowhere. And, well, that's why I can see why, frankly, Six would be a great addition to the film.
Bum.
Plus, you're inside of me.
It's the kind of shit that you'd have to scream at people. Just, I mean, that's...
You're inside of me right now.
Okay. All right. So, okay.
But
Jones, I want to hear where you were going with this.
Well, okay, I'm just going to say, being the reason why it's hard to keep a steady relationship if you don't already have one, is because it's basically, at its bare principle, being a comedian is a very selfish thing to do. Mm-hmm. You think? I
But
mean,
that's not what I'm asking you, though. What I'm asking you is, you say you're telling me you almost hit it every time you're there. Like you got the recipe down, but you're missing that one last ingredient.
Just missing the sugar.
Yeah. What is that? What? There's got to be a point.
East Coast.
It's a teaspoon and a
Well,
half of
can I tell
salt,
you-
Mitch Jones.
But there's got to be a point where you're working it out, and then you come to the point where it's time to seal the deal, and then you're like, shit, this is where it goes to pot. What needs to happen?
can I tell you the reason why last time didn't happen?
Yes.
I want to hear this.
Because we're hanging out at the East Coast. Fantastic show. Good show. Me,
Great.
Bob Gaudette,
The Bob Gaudette.
Mr. Mike Hammock, and Mr. Josh Skillman.
All right, 4 horsemen
No, without Eric.
with the little ball of hate, as you call him.
Eric had just had his baby.
Okay.
Giving you a thumbs up for the connector here.
Oh, okay.
Thumbs up for connectors.
Okay.
Anyway, Eric. So we're sitting there, and there's a lady that has. She's textbook maiden in distress. She went out on a date, and her date was stupid, so she didn't hit it off. And so, guess who's talking to her? Me.
No
I'm
fucking
talking
way,
to her,
Jones. No fucking
and
way.
I'm winning points, and I'm scoring touchdowns here. And
you kick a
who
field goal,
also
too?
happens to be there, except Mr. Gary Six Killer happens to be there. And Gary is like my coach. He has become. He's been trying to coach me through it.
I'm going to stop you there real quick, Mitch. Was any part
Do you
of
have
his
a commercial
coaching
break here? This
where
would
he
be
tells you,
great.
okay, Mitch, this is the part where you tell her, I want my nuts in your mouth? If that's, I
That
know,
would look good on top of this.
I know what the problem is. We've diagnosed the problem. I'm sorry, go ahead, buddy.
Gary was. Remember that Shakespeare story where the guy's like, there's a guy in a bush telling another guy what to say.
That's Cyrano de Bergerac. That's not
Yeah,
Shakespeare.
Cyrano. So there's
Roxanne with Steve Martin. Remember it that way.
Exactly. So in the
call,
Shakespeare
Reese.
story, the guy's trying to woo this lady, but he's not very smooth. So there's a guy in a bush telling him what to say to win her heart.
Okay.
So Gary Six Killer takes on that role of the guy in the bush telling me what to
Is he
say.
texting you?
What's that?
Is he texting you quietly?
No, he's not actually. He's actually.
I'm literally speaking into his ear.
No, you need to tell her that pussy's good.
It wouldn't be far off from what actually happened.
It's pretty far off.
So we're sitting there, and I'm winning points. And I'm just like, yeah, so that date didn't go too well. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the show. What are you doing later? And Gary pulls me to the side and says, I'm going to go to IHOP. And then he grabs me by the shoulders and violently shakes me and goes, get your dick wet! Get your dick wet!
Nice.
Get your dick wet! And I'm like,
Nice.
she can hear you, bro. She's right next to us. At which point, she
I'm
decided
so not going to IHOP.
she called her friend for a ride home, which is the ultimate, like, sorry, bro, nothing's happening tonight. I just called my friend, and she's picking me up.
You know what I'd have
If it
done?
makes you feel any better, at that same IHOP that night, 2 women bought me breakfast because they felt bad about who I was as a person.
What?
Considering the last time I actually had food at a breakfast establishment with Gary Six Killer, I can believe it.
Let me tell you, Mitch. Let me give you some advice.
You were
Okay.
hammered.
Can the moose give you some advice?
Of course, Moose.
Next time you're getting
Moose
this
advice.
moose advice.
You should
Next
have a
time,
segment for this.
I should. Well, this okay. This is it's-
Moose
moose.
Moose's advice, y'all.
Next
Yeah.
time you're hitting on this woman,
Any woman?
any woman, and Gary Six Killer
Is there?
is screaming at you, "Get your dick wet! Get your dick wet!" You lean over to her and you say, "I apologize for my friend Gary. He was struck by lightning numerous times. He can't control some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth."
Actually, considering that I've been close to Indian reservations a number of times during my life, you don't even have to put in the lightning strike. You just be like, my friend is Native American. And, well, every once in a while he ties one on, and he says,
The fire water?
"Get your the firewater gets
Fire
him.
water? All right.
Get your dick wet and hot."
Yeah, I would just recommend saying, do you know this fucking guy?
I love this fact. He's
then
like
laugh.
20 beers into it. This is what I'm enjoying.
Gary Six Killer,
I love it.
pussy coach.
Here's what you don't do, ladies and gentlemen.
Never seen that show, Coach, with Craig T. Nelson? It was the exact opposite of that.
Who needs an offensive coordinator when you got a pussy coach?
Get your dick wet. Get your dick wet, son.